What's up, everyone? Sorry about the difficulties I had a second ago. Internet was acting up. Every time I was trying to play my intro or something, it kept freezing up. Let me say hello to chat real quick. We got in the house, Purist. I saw that you're gonna go watch Godzilla. Have fun, man. I've heard great things about the movie. Matt Risman, always here to troll me. I appreciate you, brother. Let's see. Takora, what's going on? Nice to see you. I hope you enjoy the show. We got King Chris in the house. What's up, buddy? Star Wars Dog. Always good to see you, my friend. Who else is in here? I don't really need to say hello to anyone else. I'm just playing with it. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Glad you can make it. So tonight's an interesting one. I'm going to be going over the Malaysian flight that went missing back in 2014. Glad you had notification. That's funny. But yeah, this is an interesting one. So I didn't know much about it. I've heard about this flight, and then as I started to kind of deep dive into it, I realized that video of the three orb-looking things surrounding a plane. That's the plane itself that went missing. China, when this happened, they put that video out, if I'm not mistaken. And there's some controversy as to, people are saying that's deep. It's been debunked, the video itself, and then some VFX artists came out and said that it would be too difficult to fake a video like that. Apparently, that's actual footage from a government satellite, and there's words that are too big for me to remember, just describing exactly what that is. But this is a really fascinating UFO story, and there isn't much. So we're gonna start out by going over a couple articles, one from CNN and one from Fox. I decided to I want to show that they're not presenting any information. Like the mainstream isn't presenting any information as to what could have happened. Now, the biggest controversy is that if this flight were to crash, which is the main story of it, and crashes in open seas, there's still going to be some form of debris that should be found and floating around. I think all they had was a wing, and I can go ahead and pull that up actually. So yeah, it's just a really fascinating story, and there isn't much information about it. But what is out, I think, is really cool. So let me pull this up. I believe this is all they found. Let's go tab. Okay. So, and there's this listening to a podcast, and that's another thing. We're going to be going over the Danny Jones podcast. I left the link in the description below if you're interested in listening to the whole thing. It's with this guy named Ashton, and he's done a lot of work to try to kind of debunk all the misinformation out there. One of the things he was talking about was that this wing apparently, if it was submerged in water for a long time, it doesn't take much for barnacles to start growing on the surface of items. I think he says something about a couple weeks or a month maybe. And unfortunately, I didn't gather where or when this piece of debris was found, but there's just a lot of odd discrepancies amongst this story. And it's a lot of the Bermuda Triangle. Let me look up where that is exactly. I know there's a lot of surrounding kind of conspiracy theories, for lack of a better word, about the Bermuda Triangle, flights going missing, it having to do with UFOs. Bermuda Triangle. So let me me look this up real quick. Present. Okay. So I just want to see quickly where this, oh, that makes sense. Bermuda. Okay, so it's not even close to where this flight happened to have disappeared. It disappeared in this area, the Indian Ocean. So you have Malaysia right here, and it was supposed to fly towards Vietnam. So let me now grab another photo, and this is a photo of kind of just a map of where the direction is supposed to go. So the hard red line is where the plane actually flew. The dotted line is where it was supposed to go. And the blue line is where it got misdirected and where the government supposedly saw it, tracked it before it fell off. And let me bring up this screen now. And we're going to just go into this article. Hold on. Okay. So the funny part about this is like not shit is said. This is mostly about the hey, what's up, Pilgrim? Rolo should be joining me shortly, in quotation, shortly. Who knows when he shows up? But yeah, Star Wars Dog just got home. I didn't want to throw a stream at him. He's been gone all week. He wants to spend time with the wife. I understand. So it's not a problem. I'll just run it solo tonight. Let's see. In the 6th grade, I went down a rabbit hole and thought the disappearance of a plane was the start of some alien invasion shit. Yeah, that sounds about right for you. So let's just quickly go through this. Chinese court starts hearing lawsuits against Malaysia Airlines over missing flight MH370. Beijing, CNN. For nearly 10 years, Zhang Hu, we'll call him Zhang. Zhang has been searching for answers as to why the plane carrying his 7-year-old mother back from vacation in Malaysia vanished without a trace. I read this before. He kind of just talks about why it's weird. On Monday, a Chinese court will begin hearing claims for compensation for families of the MH370 passengers who say the disaster not only deprived them of their loved ones, but also plunged some into financial distress. And this is a little weird about this article is that this article just talks about this one guy pressing charges against Boeing and I think Malaysian Airlines. So there aren't really many articles about this specific event, and you know it's been roughly 9 years, so it makes sense that there isn't like crazy amounts. I'm sure if I spent a couple hours digging, I could find some stuff in 2014 when it came out, but it's suspected that there was some form of a cover up that happened, and I'm not even going to begin to speculate what it was. I know when we start getting into the video, you'll see that there's some weird shit going on. And like I said before, I'm going to play a couple clips from the Danny Jones podcast and the interview because some of it's pretty compelling that those videos couldn't be faked. Let's see what's going on with chat. Oh, Rolo, meh. He has to make a drink. It'll be a while. You got it from Shane Dawson video. Nice. I don't know who that is. Dead. I hope you didn't get other stuff from him. You guys are funny. Um, what's up, Special Ray? Yeah, Bush probably did do it. No, actually, I don't think it was Bush. It was probably Trump, if you really think about it. Um, so yeah, this article really doesn't say much. It's about this guy Zhang wanting to press charges. And look, I think someone should be held accountable at least, right? And one of the things that he presses charges on is that Boeing and Malaysian Airlines need to pick up the costs for sending people out to go search. At this point, I think it's safe to say no one's going to get found, right? But it's odd, like, even if a plane crashes in the middle of the ocean, there should be some form of debris that's still floating around. Not everything's going to sink to the bottom. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be in some concentrated area. There's going to be other pieces and whatnot that are floating around a couple miles, within the first couple of hours. So I find it very odd that they only found one wing. They're not really showing much of anything else about that. Dude. Fucking right. It's unclear what enforcement power the Chinese court can wield over the defendants if it rules in favor of Zhang and other plaintiffs. All of them are international companies headquartered outside of China, though Malaysia Airlines, Boeing, and Rolls-Royce have offices in China. Okay, so again, I'm not going to spend the time to read through this whole thing. What's up, buddy? How are you doing? So yeah, it's I just wanted to point out that there isn't much information out there in the mainstream as of today. I'm sure there were a bunch of articles going on. I mean, this one's from, I think, 2023. The Earth is flat, flat realm, firmament dome. Yeah, they might have blown up by crashing into the top of the dome. You never know, really. So Zhang's persistence was driven by his key motivation, the urge to do something for his mother who enjoyed traveling in her retirement. Again, this article is not that significant in terms of information. I just want to show that the mainstream doesn't have much to say about this, which is an odd thing. Zoom in here a bit for you guys. Questions remain unanswered and this is the Fox News one. Questions remain unanswered nearly 10 years after the disappearance of the Malaysia Airlines flight MH370, and the families of the missing and presumed dead are still seeking closure for their loved ones. The 2014 disappearance remains of the most vexing mysteries in aviation. The Boeing 777 took off from Kuala Lumpur, headed to Beijing March 8th. March 8th, 2014, and disappeared around 90 seconds after leaving Malaysian airspace, with all 239 passengers seemingly gone without a trace. This is weird. Okay, so this one actually has more information in it. Give me 1 second. So a multi-year search ensued. I'm going to bring in one of my buddies.
What's up, dude?
Thank you for joining me.
Absolutely.
I know you're not too big into this one. Isn't
well. I actually like this story.
I was going to say it's not.
I think this is such a crazy story.
It really is, dude, and it's not very alien focused. Now,
are you doing? I can't remember because I've spent a lot of time doing stuff today, so I didn't get that chance to ask you. But are you talking about both Malaysian flights or just the one that disappeared?
MH370. That's the one that disappeared. If you want to fill us in, though, after this article on the other flight, that would be pretty cool.
Oh yeah, sure.
So okay, you know what? I'm sorry. Oh, okay. No, sorry. I'm freaking screwing up in my head. Sorry, I just got lost for a second. So So this one, and it makes sense because it's Fox News. They're actually giving us information other than CNN, which is just an emotional story and tale. Sorry, RG Energy.
Is he actually in it? Oh wow!
Yeah, he is. Daimyo's a reptilian. Hey, don't get my secret out there.
I tell you what, Daimyo really is good at.
Jumping walls.
No, I was gonna say singing, but
Don't make me sing, dude. Once I start, I don't stop. So, questions remain unanswered. I already read that. The families of the missing have pushed for a renewed search, citing advances in technology could help locate the bulk of the plane or any new evidence. And so, I think that's why this story is surfacing again. Recent, and we'll get into that. The videos I'll play and the clips from the podcast. I think it's because things are starting to get debunked a little bit from the main story. So I was talking briefly before to myself, Caleb, about how a plane crashes in the middle of the ocean. Their debris should be found. You shouldn't just find one piece, right? Which is what they have is just one part of the wing. They're think about all the stuff that like I mean, sure, some things could get incinerated on
well, one thing you
upon
have to
impact.
remember is that they were looking in the wrong spot for a long time.
Right. But regardless, I think it's that's a good point. That is a good point.
I mean, it
Hey
wasn't.
Bobby.
What's up, Bobby? It wasn't like a week. Like they were looking in the wrong spot for I think it was like 4 or 5 months.
Well, yeah, and then just so sorry for folks who've been here since the start. I want to show this lack of a better word spaghetti map that I have with Caleb real quick. Here we are. So yeah, it crashed around here. You're saying that they were like where on the map?
So they were looking in basically in the South China Sea.
Yes, they were. They were.
That box,
I
that
do remember that.
top gray box right there.
Yeah,
That's basically where they were looking for probably about 4 months.
because that's where they lost contact with.
Yeah, so they just kind of followed the path and said, okay, so well, we think it went, and so ATC lost contact right there, but military radar had them for another hour.
They did, and I think they had them up until around this point. But it one thing
But
that
because it was, I think, Chinese military radar, they didn't tell them.
well, and that
No one knew that the plane had banked left and flew over Thailand. So they were looking in that area in that South China Sea for 4 months, and then by the time they found out, well, the water that's currently sitting there over the Strait of Malacca and the Andaman Sea, that shit is like 100 million miles somewhere else.
for sure. And so it's it I was saying before, the footage that they have, because there is some sort of a stigma or theory around that UFOs had something to do with it because of the footage. I don't know if you've seen the footage of the three
I have
orbs.
not, no.
So I'm interested to see what you think about that, because the guy who kind of broke all this stuff down in the podcast was saying that that's just too high level of a video to be faked, and it comes directly from a satellite. Well, we'll watch it. You can make your stuff. You can make your point when we watch that stuff. I'm not smart enough. Now yeah, no, I'm not smart enough to know whether or not it's true or not.
Well, I tell you what
Skepticism's
you
definitely
need
high.
on things like this, because there's so much of this that's based on like videos. You need a videographer. You need someone that like knows what they're looking at and knows about volume versus levels.
So we'll watch this clip, and they do talk about that.
Okay.
Caleb. So this is interesting though. Special Ray, how did the seats not function as a flotation device? apparently this plane also had lithium ion batteries on it, and when those explode, it's not as simple as just putting the fire out. It's like you can put it out and fight the fire, but it'll keep igniting.
Yeah.
So
So that's one of the issues with the with things like Teslas and Veyrons. So if anyone's watched the Grand Tour in the first, I think it was the first, might have been the second season, they Richard Hammond has the concept one for the Veyron, which is the fastest electric car, or was the fastest electric car in the country, in the world. And he crashed it. And what happened was one lithium battery caught fire. They put it out. And then the next lithium battery caught fire. They put it out. Then the next lithium battery caught fire. So you've got these like 100 batteries all jam packed together, and you can't put them out with water. You have to put them out with CO2. So you have to have a hazmat fire truck show up.
Well, and in the podcast, I don't know if I can find exactly pinpoint where he talks about this, but the guy gets into great detail about how all planes it's a code measure to you need to have firefighting capabilities within the plane. And there were multiple witnesses that said they saw this flight or this plane flying at low altitude on fire. And that's something that I think the main story didn't have at the time of the release. So there's a high possibility that they were fighting this fire in the air. If we look at this map, there wouldn't be many places to land when you're 30,000 miles up in the air, 30,000 feet up in the air. And especially at the direction that they're going, right? So there's a possibility that if they're going the other direction, they could land this way. But since they're going across Thailand, they can't. You probably cross that stretch of land pretty quickly, and there's not enough time to slow down your plane, especially if it's on fire. And so it's just something to think about too. That like I think it's valid that there were people like there's. I think a person on a boat, an oil rig that saw this plane fly by. And then it's also a little bit sketchy because some people were saying they saw it from like 300 feet away. I think that's what they said. Maybe it might have been that's where I was in the miles, I think. 300 miles away up in the air. So there was a controversy to like, how do they know if that plane's actually on fire at that point?
Right.
But, so let's
it's probably all those chemtrails.
Yeah, for real. Let me get this.
I'm kidding, by the way.
I know. Okay, so let me know if you guys don't hear this. And I hope I don't get struck. Danny Jones, please let me play this.
Talking about Kate. Yeah, the witness was right there in the Nicobar Islands. When we have our satellite looking down, the plane, everybody agrees the plane.
Ugh. It's my great California internet.
Here at this point, she sees this glowing orange plane, consistent with potentially the crew battling a fire for about an hour and 20 minutes. She actually sees this plane flying low. She says she sees two other planes that are at cruising altitude with lights on, but the glowing plane was at a low altitude. The recreation of this plane puts it around 10,000 feet, maybe a little bit lower.
Sorry for the pauses, guys.
Do you want to lower your
For people that may hear the giant diesel generator going in the background, I can faintly hear it, but I apologize.
What was that, Caleb?
You want to lower the
Oh, that's a good point.
Quality.
Yeah. I'm already at 720.
Oh.
Should I bring it to 480? Screw it.
Apologize if if it's really ruining your podcast experience right now, but this is the only way we're going to record this.
Oh yeah, no problem. So she sees this plane flying low, and she actually sees it descend from the beginning of her sighting to the end of her sighting, which is estimated to be 5 or 10 minutes.
Okay.
The direction of travel is consistent with where the plane would have been coming from, as well as potentially our videos as well. When we look at these videos in a few minutes, you're going to see this plane is making a counterclockwise rotation, which is consistent with the direction of travel that was recreated from her automatic GPS as well. So again, actually what she sees also, not only the glowing orange plane, but she sees black smoke coming out of the back of this plane, which would be consistent with lithium ion battery fires. They have this very dark smoke that come from them as well. We think that this...
But it's pitch black, no moon or nothing. She can see dark smoke.
Yeah, well, I think that generally, even at night, if their plane is glowing to some degree, you're going to see this smoke, right? Kind of just like the silhouette potentially of it.
So what do you think about that, Caleb? Because I think that's a very good point that Danny brings up.
That was 300 miles away.
Yeah, and he gets into it in a bit, and they kind of start arguing a bit about how, like, well, because I think they used AI to ask the question and get an answer from it, because you have to think too, it's like it's hundreds of miles away, and then at the same time it's like 30,000 feet up in the air, so you have to kind of put into perspective of what that would look like.
So you would probably see the contrast between the sky or something like that, even with the stars out. So, you know, how dark it is, you could probably argue, you know, how can you tell? But I think the matter is that you can see like thickness as opposed to...
Good point, Tikara. Ah, fuck this internet, dude. So, can I send you this video, Caleb?
yeah, send it to me.
Thanks. Sorry about that, guys.
So I don't know if I
what's up, Matt?
Buy the seeing it 300 miles away, because one of the things you got to remember is the Earth curves. And if you go to the beach and you look out, you're seeing about 3.1 miles.
Yeah. And look, I can have my numbers wrong, because they say a lot of different, like, they say a lot of different numbers and whatnot, and I don't know if I'm remembering correctly, to be transparent about it. But
I mean, you're not...
Sorry.
You're not an instant expert on every single thing you talk about.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you for the warning. I was ready for him, but it's much easier if the cops do it. Don't we agree?
That's what I meant to play a second ago. What's up, buddy?
Either one works.
I think we should play a disclaimer.
Oh yeah, sorry. I forgot to pull that one up. Do you want to? I dropped that link in the private chat. If you want to grab it. And okay, and then let me give you the timestamp. That was at the first eyewitness.
Yeah, I think I got a 1:58:56.
Cool.
And we can watch this in HD.
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah.
Sergio Caldivo, I'm probably butchering his last name, actually went out there and talked to them.
Mm-hmm.
I spoke to Florence Changi, who also went out there and talked to them, and she says, well, it couldn't be because it came from the wrong direction.
So, Caleb,
and that I've
pause. We're at 109.
109, okay.
109.20.
Are we going through the whole thing?
No. We're just getting clips.
Okay.
It's very transparent, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, she can see parts of that. I actually asked her, you know, I took a picture of the thermal from the thermal video and I overlaid over the plane. And I said, is this what you saw? And she responded back, well, it wasn't green. And I laughed because it realized that she hadn't been following the case at all, at least my case.
She hadn't seen the green video.
She had no idea that it was even a thermal video.
Right.
And so she's like, oh, it was orange. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, what about just the shape? Oh, well, the shape matches.
Right.
Which would indicate that, yeah, she did end up seeing MH370. She didn't see any fire, though, which is interesting because in the thermal as well, we see a heat signature near these exhaust.
So one issue I have with this is, all you're claiming that she saw MH370 because she saw a Boeing
Oh
277.
shoot! What's up,
I mean,
Daryl?
Yeah, pretty much, Caleb. I agree.
They
with
are
you.
they all look alike. A
Um,
Boeing 377 or 277.
It was a 370s, 777. Sorry,
Yeah, but let's be fair. Like,
777.
Yeah, 777. They all look alike.
yeah, so she
They're
saw
all made in Seattle or Charleston, and they
Yes.
all look alike.
exactly.
Well, she could have had the type of plane. I think the big thing to take away from this is that she's claiming that she saw it on fire with smoke coming out. And again, Danny Jones brought up a good point that it's pitch black and it's miles and miles away. So how can you say with confidence that there was smoke coming out of it, right? Pitch
And
black.
also,
Fire you can see, smoke no.
Right,
unless there's too much ambient light
That's
for her
true.
to
Yeah,
see that far.
that's
Well,
true.
but out there, you think? Even
Yes. So
well, it's hard to have I don't know if they said in this clip the location she's at. That's also a problem, I think.
so
to really digest
one of the
Daryl.
one of the evils of advancement like we have is that there's so much ambient light in the world now that we don't see the sky like we did 200 years ago, and that light doesn't just stay like New York City. If New York City was the only city in the world and everyone else lived like that we did 200 years ago, then areas hundreds of miles outside of New York City would still be affected by their ambient light.
Okay, that's a fair point.
So
Yes,
I have an issue with someone saying that they saw a plane 300 miles away.
I do too, and he does. Danny Jones as well, which is why I like the guy. This is Ashton. That's the dude who's talking right. Who's faces on the
Danny
screen.
Jones is the other guy.
He's the guy who runs the podcast, and
Yeah.
he doesn't just. I like him because he doesn't just believe shit. He'll ask questions.
Yeah.
As to,
Well, that's what a good host will do.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Challenge you.
And this guy actually ends up getting triggered a few times.
does he really?
Well, he seems like the type where it's like, oh, I've spent all this work researching this.
Yeah.
That's kind of how he plays it.
I didn't get to finish the whole video, but
Did you start it?
yes. Yeah, I
I'm
started
fucking-
it last night
I'm
and then I
fucking with you.
back up on it on break today, but
You should, Rolo. You'd really like this channel. You should subscribe to it.
To the
Yeah,
Gatekeepers Diamond?
He better be subbed already.
I already am subbed to that one.
No, the Danny Jones podcast. It's
Okay.
really good. But yeah,
Ports
let's
where the
move on.
AC units are,
Right.
but we don't see like active fire in the plane or the thermal.
It looks very consistent with other thermal plane images and videos that are on the internet.
And part of that reason would be that the fires contained in these cargo bays that are built to maintain fire, to withstand fires from up to, I think, 1700 degrees Fahrenheit or 900 degrees Celsius. So you would imagine that what's happening here, and if you've seen these lithium ion battery fires, is that they ignite, they explode, and then they're raging, and you put them out, and then they come back up again.
Which is
So
what we were
most
talking
likely
about
these
before.
crew are like fighting this fire with every fire suppression device available. They can deploy.
Real quick,
What's up?
I don't think it will take me very long to find this. What kind of fire suppression devices are in a Boeing 777? The big problem with this is going to be fire protection that hang on.
Well, you vent it. They have vents. I know that.
That include fire detection and suppression systems. Okay, where are the systems?
Daimyo.
So this is Boeing.com.
It's literally probably just a fire extinguisher. Like
There's a separate approved smoke detector or fire detector system.
That's not suppression, though.
I know. I can read too.
Well, actually,
there's an approved built-in fire extinguishing or suppression system controllable from the flight deck. There are means to exclude hazardous quantities of smoke, flames, or so. This is how stuff. This is a Class C lower cargo compartment.
fucking Pilgrim.
This is a 777 without seats.
Passengers. Daryl's correct.
I think the main thing to take away though is that they were it. I don't know if she would be able to see it on fire, but there were other accounts that we'll get to after this.
Yeah, so it looks like it distinguishes Halon 1301, which is a I used to know this stuff. It used to be my job, but it I forget which one. One of the things is a CO extinguisher, CO2 extinguisher. The other ones are not, and I don't believe this is. I think this is one of the ones that, like the foam fire trucks at airports. It's just designed to extinguish oxygen-based fires.
Yeah, Daryl's correct there as well. Halon is very deadly.
Yeah.
Is halon the chemical that?
Yeah,
it's gas.
Yeah, so it discharges a certain amount of Halon 1301 that I believe is supposed to eat the oxygen that is.
I also believe that halon is not detectable by smell.
But that's what's used to suppress the fire.
Yeah,
okay.
But it's used to suppress oxygen-based fires.
Sure.
Well, because it's a vacuum inside the plane.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep playing this clip. We're at 110. Okay, just wanted to know where we're at.
Oh my gosh.
Deploy manual ones and go in there and fight them. But this is a very desperate situation where it's just going to keep lighting up. You need to get on the ground. So,
and what is the biggest criticism towards Kate?
Yeah, let's go.
You don't have premium?
YouTube ads.
I muted it.
Podcast I was on, like they criticized whether or not you could see the cockpit window.
Julian?
Yeah, but I would argue that you see a plane flying, you can see the cockpit. It's not a matter of like she's seeing the pilots in the cockpit. It's just a matter of like she can see the front of the plane, right? So it might be a little bit of a misrepresentation.
Pause.
So what was
when have you ever fucking seen
this is why I like Danny Jones. He doesn't just eat it up. He goes, "What are you talking about?" I don't think I've ever seen a cockpit window other than a plane that's like landing.
Other than when I was a little kid and the pilot was like, "You want to see what the cockpit looks like?" When I was like 8, that was pretty much it. Like you don't ever see that, especially with the plane in the air. How the fuck are you going to determine that?
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you got binoculars out or something. Like,
Caleb, what do you think the credibility of this so far? This guy that we're listening to.
So here's a picture. It's not great quality, but here's a picture of a plane that is probably about 30,000 feet in the air. Do you see that cockpit?
Dude, I could clearly see the pilots chilling there.
And I don't think we explained to the chat that these people apparently are on a boat and able to see this plane. The fire is believable. That's probably the most believable thing that I would say about that. If it was on fire, because
Yes.
that's not fact. But if a plane was on fire, you'd probably be able to see it in pitch black. But to see the cockpit, it's discrediting your claim already.
Well, you'd still be able to see it in the daytime. If there's like plumes of fire coming out, then I would believe it. But if it's nighttime, you're not going to see smoke.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, like so. If it was a daytime, then yeah, I would believe that.
I also don't think you'd see it if it's 30,000 feet in the air. I keep wanting to sing that song. It had to be a pretty big fire.
Yes, it wouldn't just be one engine; it would have to be multiple.
Well, no, because Diamond, remind me, but the fire that they're talking about is the fire from the lithium batteries.
It is.
Yeah,
and it could be a mixture of both. So it could be at the point where the lithium batteries exploded, and now the plane itself is on fire now too, right?
Yeah,
the lower part of it.
Well, that you would see because it would almost look like a fireball at that point, just moving. Like it would look like a fiery spear, pretty much, and like you would see the trails start to turn black if it was daytime. But at night, you'd probably just see like a red dot or an orange dot just going. If it's that far up, like you wouldn't be able to tell that that's fire. You would just be like, "What the hell is that orange thing?"
God, I wish I had the Tom Hanks fire clip right now.
Because if it's that far up in the sky, you're not going to be able to tell that it's flames. You're just going to see a light. Like, even on the ground, if you were to look, a couple football fields away, all you see is a little orange dot. You're not seeing the actual flames.
For sure.
So there's no fucking way.
Okay, moving on.
Let's listen to him kind of I'm assuming he's about to be like,
he's about to question him.
That sounds like bullshit.
He's going to question him a bit. He's nice.
You were claiming that she claimed she could see the cockpit from how far away, roughly?
She didn't.
I do really find it funny the way he said cockpit.
Cockpit?
Cockpit from really far away?
She claimed she could see the cockpit from how far away, roughly?
She didn't really tell me exactly, right?
Did you have any speculation as to how far the plane would have been?
Not really. What I can say is that the plane went from the east around her boat to the north and then came around the back of her boat as it went north to south. And this is part of it in her original reporting of when this happened. So I imagine what would have happened here is that she's on her boat. She's looking to the east, sees this plane, she sees it come to the side while it's flying to the north. And then it comes back and turns kind of towards her, most likely, and goes around behind the boat, the back of the boat. And that's where she probably looks up and she can see the cockpit area of it, probably make out the shape of it and see the windows, I imagine.
So you're estimating it would have been, what, within 1,000 feet of her?
The recreation says it got potentially as low as 2,000 feet, which is pretty low. And it's going to actually be consistent with our videos where
I'd be okay with saying that at 2,000 feet.
Yeah.
I forgot to say, it was below, it was at low altitude. I did.
Okay. 2,000 feet is different.
Low. Like, the only time I've been able to see a cockpit is because there's a military base. Like,
you're attuned to that, aren't you?
Fuck you. There's a base not far from me. So we get AC-130s that fly over all the time. And, like, that's probably the closest I've gotten to actually being able to see, like, actually make out the full plane and not just the lights.
Well, I got to ask.
The cockpit.
How many cockpits have you seen?
Fucking hell.
Cockpits?
How many cockpits you've been looking at there, big guy?
Looking at all the cockpits.
But yeah, so let's keep this rolling.
We see these cumulus clouds that only form between 1,000 and 5,000 feet.
Oh, so there was clouds that night. It wasn't perfectly clear.
Now, she doesn't remember the clouds either, but she didn't know whether or not there could be. And it was nighttime, so maybe she couldn't make them out very well. It's, again, really hard to tell.
What exactly did she, I'm trying to understand why.
Yes.
What exactly did she say that she saw in the cockpit?
Oh, she didn't really say that she saw anything in general, but she did say that she saw some illumination, which to me indicates that these batteries.
Was that you that laughed or him?
I'm laughing at him because
okay. I thought he giggled.
First of all, Felicity, what's up? Second, he goes over a couple other accounts, and that's what's always I think annoying about these UFO stories. It's always a guy who knew a guy who also knew a guy, right? It's that type of situation.
Right.
Like always, it's take this stuff with a grain of salt. It's never fact. And this guy himself, you can tell. I mean, he's just a downright nerd. So he speaks like he just everything's fact when it it's just not. But yeah, that's my best answer to that. But you never know. Maybe Danny Jones will.
I definitely have an answer for why it's not her. It's not the person that saw this being interviewed, because she lives in a remote village in Thailand, and it's easier for this white nerd to fly out and talk to everyone that may have seen something than to have. What's up, X-Wing?
Who are you calling a white nerd?
This guy on screen.
Definitely not you.
Oh no, he's a
Are you
nerd.
white?
I'm a
Did
white
you
nerd.
say, "Are you white"?
Do you remember this story when it happened, X-Wing? Just want to
No.
know if you're familiar about it. This flight went missing over the South Indian Sea.
Is this the
Ocean.
one where the three things were like
It is.
circling around and then
It
poof?
is. And
Yeah, that shit's crazy.
Shortly after we get through these interviews, or the accounts of the interviews of the people that were eyewitnesses, we'll show the actual footage, because it's crazy.
Yeah, it's naughty looking.
All right, Caleb, go on.
Half of them were in the front cargo bays, and half of them were in the back.
Okay.
Now, if this fire would have made the electronics go out and made the plane go dark, then I would argue, from talking to people who are pilots and engineers, that the most likely area would have been the front, because that's where a lot of the electronics bays are. So if there's an explosion that happens there, that's the most likely spot to disable a lot of electronics. And if that's the case, and there's a fire even in those cargo bays that they're battling and is breaking containment, then I could imagine there being illumination. This is just deduction, and somewhat speculative. But that's kind of the impression I got from talking to Kate, is that, maybe that there was some illumination that allowed her to see the cockpit more clearly. Otherwise,
You're
Just laughing at sundown.
you're interviewing the chick, and you had to deduce what she was saying.
Right.
Why didn't you just
It
ask?
already discredits her claim. Like, you didn't even understand what she was saying, bro.
She can't be from Thailand if her name's Kate.
Hey, you don't know that?
Just said it's very unlikely.
Maybe it was Kate for interview
Sounds
purposes.
like a Navi
Is
name.
Rolo being racist again?
So we're at
Avatar too much.
113.
Dude, yeah, I've been playing that game way too much.
Let's skip ahead to 120, Caleb.
Special Ray has a good point there. Why didn't he just record the interview?
Actually, skip to 135. This is the other witness. We already talked about the lithium batteries. Yeah, 135.
Oh, that's why you can't bring a vape on a plane?
Yeah.
Because of aliens?
Dude, get premium, bro. What are you doing? You fucking cheap ass.
packaged.
It's like $4
So we
a
think
month.
that at 1721 UTC, this is when the batteries explode. This is when Mike McKay is on an oil rig 300 miles away. He sees this plane low on the horizon.
And this is in the South China Sea?
Yeah, on an oil rig there. This is probably at exactly the maximum distance that you'd be able to see this plane in clear skies. At least according to ChatGPT, the maximum range is about 310 miles.
According to
But
ChatGPT.
there were clouds, we know.
Actually,
Way to just like discredit yourself immediately.
so I'm saying, this guy comes across super pompous and arrogant, like he knows, like all this shit's fact, and he.
You should have thrown Wikipedia. Like that has more credit than ChatGPT. I'm not gonna lie.
Chat woke be woke GPT. I mean, yeah. Go on, keep playing.
Yes, but it just rained. So these clouds that we were talking about are
Right,
actually
rain clouds.
You know, the rain that we were talking about, or the clouds that we were talking about, the Nicobar Islands, which is over here on the west,
Yeah.
where we're talking about.
So the rain would put out
clouds
the
in the-
fire. No, I'm kidding.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Videos is not over here. So I don't know if there were. He says it was clear.
If there was
He able to
rain, there
see.
was definitely clouds because rain has to come from clouds.
So you have to
This
realize
guy is
that's
phenomenal.
Pause it,
This guy
pause
is
it.
phenomenal.
there's rain, so there must have been clouds.
I love this guy.
Well, they clearly have an expert panelist on, which is always important when we're talking about these kind of things, you know.
Well, dude, and that's what I'm saying, because this guy, Danny Jones, tends to like not just put up with people's bullshit. He'll have them on and talk to them about it, but like he's not just sitting here like absorbing everything, be like, ooh, you know.
It just reminded me of like a Georgia Tsoukalos moment, except he's more credible, where it's just like
the
rain comes from clouds, and clouds need to be there for rain. And
Yeah.
they're like, oh shit, yeah, you're right. Holy fuck.
All right, let's keep him moving.
Sergio Caldivo, I'm probably butchering his last name, actually went out there and talked to them. I spoke to Florence Changi, who also went out there and talked to them, and she says, well, it couldn't be because it came from the wrong direction, and that I found some other reporting that said, oh, well, they're trying to connect it to some small 50-seater plane, but I looked at that plane, and it's just red and white. It like doesn't match at all the witnesses' statements there. So I think that what we're going to find is that you can...
Red and white is exactly what Malaysia 370 looked like.
I was going to say, wasn't it red and white?
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're more qualified
bring that
to talk
sighting
about
and
this.
that evidence back in when we realize that the plane doesn't have to be coming from the east. It can be coming from the north, and that can match with this sighting perfectly. There was like 6 or 7 different islanders that saw this plane in the early morning. So there's quite a bit of evidence here that we've got a fire situation going on. And I think I spoke to the rest. And so, yeah, again, all these witnesses as well that theoretically see this. And now I think the big question is,
who are the witnesses?
So this guy's a
right?
debunker.
So this guy actually was okay. We kind of skipped over his background. It's not the most credible thing when you're talking about this type of stuff. He's not a journalist, so he doesn't deep dive into it. He actually comes from like IT, like where he scans like for the government. So he scans a bunch of like people's.
Oh, he works for the government.
I was going to say, he works for the government. Okay.
You should have led with that.
So yeah, I probably should
The
have.
opinions discussed here today do not accurately depict the true thoughts and beliefs of the Gatekeeper's Daimyo or the invited guests. The statements spoken do not constitute any jurisdictional relationship between the viewer and the Daimyo. All opinions are spoken under the protection of the First Amendment and protected by constitutional law and Supreme Court precedents. By viewing said content, you agree to hold the Daimyo and all guests innocent of any lawsuits and indemnify them from any suits or damages that may arise from any content. You also agree to acknowledge that any lawsuit you do bring shall be under the rules and laws of the Republic of Djibouti. Primary jurisdiction shall fall under the Commonwealth of Botswana. All rights reserved.
Djibouti?
No, so
I'm gonna need one of those, Caleb.
Yeah.
I'll make you one.
How have I not seen that yet?
Because it's new. But yeah, no, this guy, he works for the government, but he then like he got super interested in this, and he like created a Reddit and started like getting. He likes to say shadow banned, which is always a red flag. But he started getting like kicked off of Reddit and stuff like that.
How do you get kicked off of Reddit? That place is that place is a scumville.
All these moderators started coming after him and shit, and like flagging his stuff. That's his background though. So he's not.
This brings up a good point there. What was the Weather Bureau reporting as far as weather?
The main chunk of it is what's that? Dude.
I mean, to be fair, this guy represents like your average government employee.
I would think so.
I used to work for the government. This guy 100% looks like a government employee.
He's got that DMV speed going to him.
Let's get through this last interview so we can get into the video, which is the fun part, I think.
Is okay, well, it's a fire. Why do we have this narrative of it going into the South Indian Ocean? Like, why did this narrative get developed, right?
Right. Maybe because the guy was trying to waste all the gas before he landed and instead of dumping the fuel, like you said, and igniting the fire, maybe he was trying to burn through all the fuel first and flying at a low altitude.
This plane's not going to last 6 hours. You can't battle the fire for that long. That's the issue. And this is part of the reason why people didn't think the fire scenario made any sense, because you can't last for 6 or 8 hours. It's even a miracle they last for 1 to 2 hours, potentially even 1 hour and a half. And as we can see from our videos and the corroborated events, they're trying to land in the ocean because you got to get this plane on the ground right away. So that's the big problem is that.
Why wouldn't they be able to last for 6 hours? Because the fire, they couldn't keep the fire under control for that long.
The fire is eventually going to break freeze, and that's the thing. And that's why people don't even believe the fire could last. You could fight it for over an hour, which is why I think it's important that I have somebody willing to testify to Congress with me that would.
Fire's hot, okay? So you got to be careful about that.
I kind of wanted them to go into like fighting a fire for. There's not enough piss on that plane to make that happen. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is so dumb. There's ample shit on a plane to put out a fire. They make sure of that, and there are plenty of regulatory agencies that make sure that occurs. And beyond that, why would you dump fuel for an interior fire? I mean, I could understand if you're going in for an emergency landing, absolutely dump your fuel. But when we saw that video, they're like,
X-Wing, I think it's important to bring up though. It's not a normal fire that it's supposedly
it's a lithium battery fire.
Yeah, so those don't go out. You know, you can't.
But my favorite part about this is he just said, "Oh, they were definitely trying to land the plane in the water." He did a really bad job of trying to land the plane in the water.
Yeah,
well, for sure.
Like he had.
This was the turnaround point.
Yeah.
So
that's what he's saying.
I mean, this is where the fire would have started.
Yeah.
There's only one reason to drastically divert your plane.
There was an airport within 10 miles of that coastline.
Easily. This is the discrepancy. This is one of the many discrepancies of this story, though. That look. I mean, you're going super fast. If you had time to make it all the way over to the left side, pinpoint the 1822. You definitely had enough fuel to turn around and land on the long way of the Thailand, right, or Malaysia.
He could have made it back to Kuala Lumpur with minimal effort.
Well, but that's what's weird about this. That's what's weird about this story, which is why I think it's interesting. We don't have to take what this guy says for fact, but there are obvious reasons why
there's 100% an airport and.
Right. But then we have to think why didn't he land there, right? Forget what this guy is saying. Forget what this guy is saying. Let's just think about this logically. What could be the reasons why someone wouldn't turn around, or if they're on fire, especially, why would they not emergency exit, get the fuck out of the air, right?
Hijacking?
I think what's most likely is the plane was hijacked and something happened between here and here.
Yeah, what's with the course correction at Penang?
That's what I'm saying. I agree with that one. I think
he talks about it, and again,
could be a hijacking. But what about? Oh wait, they never found the black box, so I can't even.
Yeah,
because they got took by aliens. Stupid.
Well, yeah. Let's Caleb, press play. Let's keep this going so we can get into the video, the footage.
These are wild.
In Singapore at that time, it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna go live in Singapore, here we go. It was like, no, it was like family related stuff. So my family was living there, and so that's the reason why I went to school out there. Yeah.
But why
did you skip forward to the video footage, or?
Oh yeah, what number?
The dude in the black shirt is the one that's actually really bugging me. The other guy, not so much.
Really, he's just asking questions. Again, you're getting 2-minute clips of the whole podcast.
very short.
Yeah, you're getting the shit that's annoying you. But okay,
right here.
I'm gonna send you this one real quick, Caleb. But yeah, skip. So it said the timestamp for when he goes into this stuff is let me get my bearings in order.
Absolutely,
it would be
no one.
2:18.
Felicity's right there. He's living in Singapore. Who's after this guy?
Literally, no one is after him.
He was living there for 3 years.
That's what.
So 2:18.
That's what he told all the ladyboys when he was running around. He's like, the government's after me.
Yeah.
I'm dropping this in private chat. This other one. This is the actual footage. This is where we get into the alien conspiracy side of things.
So which one do you want me to play?
Play the link I just dropped into. Yeah.
At 2:18?
It all began on.
You can silence this video and then just play it through because you'll see the 3 orbs that are surrounding this plane. This is the kind of what the fuck is going on with this footage.
Yeah,
right?
this is wild.
Yeah, this is weird.
Okay. I press play.
Oh yeah, I think it's a video of a video. You could maybe skip for it, hover over and skip. Oh, no, I think it's going. Yeah, you could hover over it and see where they start. Okay, no, they're showing it.
Now, what was this footage taken by?
Apparently, this is satellite. This is satellite footage.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah, no shot. There's no shot. That's satellite footage.
Wait. Can you slow this down?
He talks about it.
No. They go in a full circle and then they go counterclockwise, and then it looks like they almost go diagonally around it, almost like an atom. You can see the trails on them. See, now
you can kind of see that
like this.
Well, but what would those be?
And now they're going. One went under. Now they're going. They're literally.
Well, it's thermal imaging. So here's the weird part: is that the air behind whatever those objects are is colder.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's the weird thing, because it's black. You see the black lines behind it.
Wait for it.
So we'll get it. They start talking about all the different.
That's nutty.
Areas of what the colors mean and whatnot.
So they do have trails though. Because look at the Plains Trail. The Plains Trail is clearly visible. Theirs is cold.
I don't know what the fuck that was.
Yeah, that looked wild, but
okay, so
once again, this is the thing that's really dumb. Hang on.
I guess we don't.
All you can see from this image is that this is a Boeing 777. There's nothing in this image that says this is Malaysia Flight 370. And
don't they have a non-thermal image of that video? I swear I've seen it. Yeah,
they do. Yeah, they have it. But again, I think that goes to Kayla's point where we don't necessarily know if
they're sitting here trying to say that this is 370 simply because it matches a fucking Boeing 777.
It was aliens, Caleb. Just believe it.
Daryl said Mario. I know he meant Microsoft, but he said Mario.
I think Caleb, if you hover for it, yeah, they have this. They have side by side of the normal footage that X-Wing was referring to. That looks like my grandma.
You can't see shit.
Grandma.
Yeah, so that's on the right side. That's what it looks like in the normal view.
I always had a fucked up joke.
A crisis actress.
Oh my god.
So the way that looks to me is that the plane is like this, right? And these are all moving.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but what are they? That's the biggest.
They're not.
question.
It's not like they're going under it or anything. Like they're just spinning like this, and the plane is stationary, almost like a hyperspace ring. You know what I mean? Like it looks like that. Like they're moving.
Triangulation going on there.
Yeah, they're moving around it like a ring would. What's up, Spud?
Yeah, that I agree, Felicity. I'm not just eating this shit up. Rollo might be, but
no, never stop asking questions.
This is one of those ones like I totally buy into this shit. I don't know. This one's just like a little too wild for me to just be like, nah, it's bullshit.
Well,
like, this is weird.
My biggest thing is what could those be, and if they were drones, just drones, why are they circling it and not?
There is no drone physically possible of doing that.
Can move like that,
especially in synchronicity like that has.
They're space balls. Shut the fuck up, Ray.
I mean, he's not wrong.
So
I mean, yeah, they are Spaceballs.
On what you just said, that there's no drone that can move in synchronicity like that. Probably true, but the Blue Angels do exist.
Yeah, but
okay, my dude.
People can move.
My dude.
Not like that.
Blue Angels don't move like that.
No. First off, no. You couldn't. So the size. First off, is prohibitive for anything that we have, anything on this planet to be that size when you compare it against that we know. If you compare it against that, and then secondly, that plane poofs. There's a cold expansion of energy in that thermal video. So it's not a hot expansion of energy; it's a cold expansion of energy, and beyond that, there's no rubble, nothing. It's not like an explosion. Nothing is left afterwards. You don't see trails of anything. There's no heat signatures. There's nothing in that video to say that it got blown up. Like, it's straight up.
It gone, disappeared.
Yeah, which would work if we hadn't found some wreckage of it, which we did.
Yeah, see,
we found one part of a little bit of a wing.
Yeah, we didn't find anything else. If we,
but I see what you're saying. It didn't just poof disappear.
Yeah, I want to hear why they're using a Reaper here.
Bro, we got those things
identified the drone.
No, fuck this video.
Oh,
go back to the other one. They talk about it. No. They talk about it in other.
I thought that was just one of Wade's videos for a second with how slow he was talking.
I forgot I had this on 0.5.
This video is just for the footage. I didn't watch this at all. I don't know if they're gonna come out of left field with some fucking gnarly theories. I'd rather.
Well, yeah. If you don't think we have drones operating literally everywhere,
at all times,
they're everywhere.
You said you want to go back to the what's his name
at the 258 mark, or I think. Or 218 mark.
218.
Because they start talking about this stuff, and we can draw off of that. I don't know what they said in the other one.
The Asian Bermuda Triangle, maybe. Maybe, Daryl.
Have you talked to any visual effects artists about this?
Yeah, I have. Yes, and they've all said the same thing, that this is a real work of art, and that these are not visual effects.
How much background have you done?
Did he say real work of art?
It's a real work of art that's not visual effects.
That's what I'm saying. This guy. This guy.
I think he's socially awkward.
Is annoying. You autistic? But let's just play it. Let's play it forward. We can make
on these guys and what are their credentials?
Quite a bit. You can look up Shy Keenan if you want. She's a very established visual effects artist. She says that the hardest part about visual effects, Shy Keenan, SH.
Somebody look him up.
Couldn't ask for that after the show, huh?
It's a female.
Shy Keenan.
YKEN.
Shy Keenan. Okay.
Yeah, on Twitter. Yep. And we've got visual effects lead from Marvel Studios.
Well,
all right, that's all fake. Fuck it.
When was this recorded?
Well, look, they're yeah, that's funny. I see where you're going with that.
2 weeks ago. So we're using Marvel Studios.
He's just bringing up the fact that this person works on VFX and understands VFX.
No, he said
that's still fine.
Yeah, it is
he
funny.
mentioned the one girl, and then he said we also have the lead VFX director from Marvel Studios. So that's different.
Well, I hope they didn't work on.
He didn't say lead. He said another.
On Quantum Mania. Let's just play it. Let's play it.
It was Todd Phillips. I may have to say
Todd Phillips is a director of.
Oh no, not Todd Phillips. That was that's
the Hangover.
Yeah. I have to pull up his name. I apologize. I don't have it up in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
But on one of my other podcasts with the Total Disclosure podcast, he went on the record stating that just to do the background research related to everything would take months to figure out the angles and everything you need. And even using today's technology would take up to 6 months to be able to produce these videos.
So do you know what it would take to convince you that this is VFX?
So couldn't they just have started the project? Let's say this is a government conspiracy. So the plane disappears in, I forget when, let's say February. So they start working on it in October. 2 months later, they release the video. What's so crazy over the head about that?
No, I see what you're saying.
I see what you're saying too. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think this is the most credible.
Yeah, you'd actually have to do it. So when it comes to what we see right here on this visual effects, right? Someone actually needs to go and modify every pixel and go and make it match and tell me how long it takes to just do one frame.
Okay. Do you have you ever heard of Corridor Digital?
Yeah. And they, people have pinged them nonstop. They did not step up to the plate to try to do this. You're going to have better visual effects skills than the creators of Top Gun Maverick. They actually posted on Reddit.
Yes,
hey, I need to hear that again.
I agree with Tom's last comment.
They did not step up to the plate to try to do this. You're going to have better visual effects skills than the creators of Top Gun Maverick. They actually.
This fucking guy, dude.
What visual
This
effect
fucking
were in
guy-
Top Gun Maverick?
Okay, if you want to make a point there, say they need to have better visual effects skills than.
Please stop using fucking like 2023 pop culture references. Like, let's work on something.
Yeah,
at least go like Interstellar, right?
Also, at
Something
least
like that.
fucking Top Gun Maverick. What VX explosions?
Yeah, they definitely had VFX.
Well, it
artists.
is an explosion.
Yeah, they definitely had VFX artists.
We've been doing explosions in the sky for 70 years in Hollywood.
Yep.
Look, even the raw footage was probably touched up in some way, shape, or form of the planes flying. It
was definitely cleared up.
They 100% didn't just use the raw footage, right?
Oh well, yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean,
you wouldn't tell anything.
I just think using Top Gun Maverick as an example is kind of
I think so too.
Weak move there.
That's besides the point. It
Posted
was
on
just a fucking terrible way to do it.
Yeah, it was. It was.
And their post says that whoever would have created this, here it is. We can just read it. I was the lead VFX artist on Top Gun Maverick.
Is he bringing up
This
Reddit?
is CGI. Whoever made it, run their work by over 4 years and did a better job than us, apparently. And again, this is a movie about planes.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest advantage they had was to cheat the speed of the jets and the scale through different
really
shots
quick?
and cinematic.
Yeah.
By the way,
about planes.
the lead VFX artist for Top Gun Maverick has a Reddit called "What the Fuck McCloudski."
Is that what it's called?
Dude,
I'm a little shaky on that one.
This guy reminds me of the final boss in Reddit if it was a video game. You have to defeat this guy at the end of the game.
It's like funny. Some adult Star Fox. Oh no, Fox! It's what the fuck McCloudski.
It's what the fuck McCloudski. It sounds like something like you.
I'm with you. Yeah, bring him in because I got boot scoot in a second. I gotta go.
Yeah,
play
no
it.
worries.
I'm gonna try to play Avatar. It's probably not gonna work again.
Wait, it didn't work the first time?
Dude, I tried to stream it. My computer was like, what have you done to me? I'm like, I'm sorry.
Are you playing as a dude or a chick?
Dude.
I can't stand the guy's voice, man.
Yeah, sounds like baby back bitch. We're getting off track here.
Yeah, he does.
That's a professional streamer right there, X-Wing.
Yeah, right.
Effect. Mm-hmm. So some of the hardest part here is going to be when you see this plane moving. They said even in the Dark Star sequence, the actual speed of the 3D model moving through our environment wasn't anything close to Mach 10. Whoever made this animation was sure that the speed and the scale is accurate between two cameras, which means it's animated and scaled to real world speed. So they said, I don't know if this video is real. It could be made using CGI, which would require a considerable amount of effort. The camera distortion and the rolling shutter would all have had to been recreated. The clouds and the lighting look to be correct based on the visible light rays. So to me, those are extremely damning comments that make it essentially, you've got somebody who is a lead visual effects artist in one of the biggest blockbusters of.
Well, you don't know. Though. It's just a Reddit post.
Well, it could be verified, right? We could go find
Smartest thing you said all day.
Have you though?
I haven't, but we could. So again, everything that I posted.
Did you verify that? No,
but I could. How do you verify that? How do you verify that you call Paramount? Hey, can I speak to John? He was
what the fuck, Ray McCloudski?
Yeah. Well, and then if you get to him, hey, are you it's fucking okay, McCloudski on Reddit?
Yeah, that's me.
Well, Dog brings up. I mean, this guy who's frozen on screen right now. This guy is giving off snake oil.
I agree.
I agree with him. I
thought it was more like snakehead vibes.
Yes.
Yeah, he's giving off snakehead salesman vibes.
The guy makes content. That's what I feel. I don't think he's trying to sell anybody anything. I think he's really good at making content. The problem is that his content just feels completely devoid of information or reason or inquisitive thought. That's what kind of, especially in that space, that's why I would never go into that space. The amount of actual research necessary to speak intelligently on stuff like that, it requires a lot. It doesn't appear he was willing to do any of those things.
Well, this guy is not the host, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. This guy's the guest.
Yeah.
The host is the one that looks like Pippin.
Oh, you're kidding me. The host is the dude? The other dude?
Yeah, the host is the guy in black.
Yeah, the host is the dude in black.
Oh, boy.
That's what he's at fault for. And he actually has a decent channel. Like, he has a bunch of, some people credible on, some people not so credible.
I mean, you know what that sounded like to me? Well, you know, like, this specific Burger King has some decent fries.
I mean, I guess. I'm just saying, I've listened to this guy's podcast. I don't believe everything that it had. In some episodes, I just turn off flat out because I'm like, the guy you're having on is not holding any weight in terms of validity. So I just turn it off.
That's bad. Like, that's a bad look for a channel. And I mean, I do it myself all the time. I'm sure people turn it off.
Yeah.
Like, this guy has no fucking idea what he's talking
Yeah,
about.
I agree.
What's up? Black and white.
Daryl.
Did you not pay your internet bill? They didn't give you color?
Yeah. I got one of those too, Daryl.
Nice.
I think Dog has a good point there. Mike Zero talks in circles with no substance. It's like, that's kind of what I feel like I'm hearing right now on this video.
Look,
Like,
when you're talking
Mike
about
Zero
this stuff,
told me that she was getting fired.
Who?
KK. Mike Zero told me KK's getting fired.
Oh yeah, and Brie
Larson
Larson's
saved
taking
Star
over.
Wars.
Yeah, Brie Larson's taking over Star Wars. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Gotta
miss
get
you, Daryl. I miss you. It's good to see you. I miss you.
Hey,
I miss your
how
face.
you doing?
It's
How
been
you
too
doing?
long. It's been too long.
but
That's nasty.
I want to put a disclaimer out there. We're not sharing this to be like, look, this stuff's factual, guys. It's more.
You
just
have a
an
disclaimer.
interesting- Yeah, shut up, Caleb. But yeah, it's just it's an interesting story. The flight itself, and they had some footage, and then it gives us something to talk about. That's literally it. It's this guy. In no way do I like sit here and I'm like, oh man, this guy, he knows what he's talking about.
Oh man,
Daryl, what are you thinking about this story in general? Not necessarily the podcast we were watching.
I think this dude snorted his Cheerios.
Yeah, I think so too.
Maybe ate a few crayons.
There it is. Damn, the gang's all here. What's up, buddy?
What's up, Sundowner?
Thanks for coming
Bringing
on,
everybody in when I have to leave.
But yeah,
I can't
Kinda
stay.
funny.
I just wanted to drop in for a second and say hello. I got recordings to do here in about 5-10 minutes.
Nice.
Know that.
Well, hello. How
oh,
are
do
you
you
doing?
have a channel?
Yeah, I have a channel.
Oh, cool.
Growing like a weed, buddy.
Everybody should sub.
Where is it?
I agree, dog.
There you go.
Boing.
All right, I'm gonna go
Oh.
play my stupid blue people game.
Thanks for jumping
You're
on
gonna
for a
go
bit,
broke.
brother.
Yeah, I just wanted to. I'm sorry I couldn't get in earlier. I'm a mountain of
fine.
paperwork with insurance changes.
Don't-
But
don't
You're
worry
mounting
about it.
what?
I was gonna say Daryl beat me to.
I know.
you have
I didn't beat nothing. Don't you dare say that.
Surely you have a sound effect for that, Daryl.
Well, yeah, it's a.
Daryl.
okay, have a good night.
Later. Yeah, buddy.
Later, bud.
No, my camera's black and white. I was recording a music video the other day.
Oh, nice.
And I had it on black and white and
In color?
in living color.
Hey guys, I got a boogie. My co-host
Peace
is
out.
here. I just wanted to stop in and say hello.
What's up, Sterling?
He's
Boogity
at the
boogity.
door. He's at the door, so I got to go get him.
Chill.
All right. Okay.
Have a good one. I'll see you guys in a little while.
Peace out, dude.
Guys, have a good one, buddy.
TBC.
So Daryl, do you remember
Yeah.
what was going like when this story dropped back in 2014? Were you following it at all?
Oh, the disappearing Malaysian flight? Yeah.
Yeah. So what was that? Because honestly, I wasn't really into this stuff as much back then. I just kind of speculated on aliens and whatnot. What was it like? What was happening in the media at that time when this flight disappeared?
Oh, they were all baffled.
Oh,
And
they had nothing to say.
Everybody, yeah, pretty much. They had no information.
Yeah,
It just
Biggest story
vanished.
at the time.
Couldn't find any wreckage, no nothing. And I'm like, well, two things. Bermuda Triangle incident where it got shot down.
Yeah.
And they don't want to piss off the country that shot it down.
So are you inclined to think then that it got shot down by something?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then what would the three orb looking things be? Or do you think that video
was fake?
You think it's fake? Okay.
Yeah, because it was a thermal camera.
Sure.
When you're filming planes, you don't film them on thermal camera. And where was the exhaust coming out of the plane?
That's
from
actually
the engines. There was no heat coming.
I was gonna try to say that they had a normal footage one of not thermal imaging, and we looked at that, but at the same time, I don't remember seeing exhaust coming out of the plane at that point. And if it was on fire, like he was saying,
there was a chemtrail, but there was a trail, but it was coming out of the rear of the plane, not out of the engine. So that's a really good point.
Yeah, it is.
First thing I noticed when I seen that thermal image, I was like, "Where's the heat from the engines?"
For sure. No, that's I completely agree with you. Wait, but Daryl, the thing that you're not thinking about is that they had the head of the VFX studio.
Crank My Wake Woodward.
Yeah, they debunked that you can't make that, So
hey, that's one of my alt accounts. Leave me alone.
Yeah. That's fucking great.
It's interesting, and I think one of the reasons that this story really kind of captivates people is because, like, 4 months later, another Malaysian flight went down, but this time we actually had someone to blame. The Splinter
China?
Group. No. For once, it wasn't China. It was a splinter group of the Russian military that shot it down. They used a bulk anti-air missile, and it shot the fucking.
They shot down a passenger plane.
Yeah, they shot down a passenger plane.
Okay.
Yep.
How is that? How did they not go to war with each other over that?
They did.
Think how big Russia is.
Yeah, just 8 years later when Russia invaded Ukraine.
Fair. But it was.
They don't drink vodka. We killed them.
Yeah. So this was like the precursor to their annexation of Crimea.
Do it.
Which unfortunately, who's that British guy? John Oliver. Last week tonight with John Oliver.
Oh, the cock and balls guy.
Yeah, does have that first season is really good. He went super fucking crazy.
What did he fucking say?
But there was one episode where he was talking about the Eurovision song contest.
Nice, Ray.
And
I don't want to get fat. I drink beer.
The finale of that contest was Russia versus Ukraine.
Be right back.
Yeah, and he jokes that the finale of Eurovision had more international oversight than the Russian annexation of Crimea.
I just want to say,
Crimea.
If I drink the amount of beers that I do every day, I would gain 100 pounds a week. So I got to substitute it here and there.
I think Takara is trying to say you could be delicious.
No. I'm talking to Ray. Fuck you, stupid bitch. Fat people are delicious people. So yeah, I find that second one fucking insane.
Wait, Ray, what the fuck does that even mean? I guess it could be allowed only because he's Asian. What is
drinking White Claws?
White Claw.
You should really read the whole conversation.
Oh, the White Claw.
So this is the map of that second flight. It was leaving Amsterdam and it was flying to Malaysia. And it literally made it all the way over Ukraine and then right over there near Crimea, where the Russian splinter group was. They just shot it down.
Honestly, if you had asked me where Crimea is,
right here.
Before I saw this picture, I would not be able to tell you.
It's right here.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, before I saw this picture, I would not be able to tell you. Oh, my hot mom's here.
Great.
Oh, he finds you delicious. Delicious.
Delicious. Gojira.
The opinions discussed here today do not accurately depict the true thoughts and beliefs of the Gatekeepers Daimyo or the invited guests.
That's such a good clip, dude. I fucking love that.
I'm
thing.
so glad I made it.
That's such a good clip, bro. I love the fact that it's like sped up.
The gatekeepers, I mean,
Yeah.
It sounds like one of the drug ads you would see on Cartoon Network, and you'd be like, "Mom, what the?"
That's the joke.
I get it. I get it, Caleb.
Well, you don't need to tell us you get it. You either get it or you don't, Rolo. Oh, come on.
What?
Don't give me that face, Rolo.
Did you click the wrong one?
Yeah, I did. No, pull that map back up. What did you do?
Well, I kind of thought we were done talking about the map.
I guess we are. I mean, I don't want to end it while Daryl's gone, but I mean, we've covered pretty much everything about this topic. It's a crazy story.
Well, let's do our ending, our ending thoughts about the story then. I think, and then when Daryl comes back, you can do.
You have thoughts?
I do. I do have thoughts.
I can do what?
Oh, there he is. See?
There he is.
You can fly high.
Yeah, we're pretty much, I think, talked out on this topic, Daryl. Unless you wanted to add something to other than, I'm starting to kind of believe what you're saying, that it got shot down just like the second flight Caleb was bringing up. It most likely got shot down.
I don't necessarily think this one got shot down. I mean, 17 definitely got shot down, but I don't think 370 did. I think something happened, and it hit the water at a faster speed than anyone has ever measured. And what I mean by that is that it either dove, and I mean, how many places do they measure the diving speed, or what happens to the aluminum? Because we have to remember this is airline aluminum. This is not steel.
Yep.
So, I mean, how many times do we know what happens to that kind of metal when it hits?
Yeah.
Because water is not soft. You hit that.
It's like hitting concrete.
Yeah, you hit that at terminal velocity, which is what that would be going at.
Well,
and
I found it. I found it.
Explain why the wing was found.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, no.
If you went in there, the wings would have gone like this. Like
they probably would have.
You said it. You said I still am on. So okay, I was gonna say I think they still should have found more parts of the plane, but I don't know the depth of the water at the location that once they found out that it was that it crashed there. So they found one part of it. I want to know, was that part? Did they pull it out of the water? Was it? I mean, was it floating? Like, could it even float?
So I believe they found it kind of off the coast. I don't think it was like in a bunch of reeds, but I do think that it was kind of an accident. Like, I think they got lucky.
For all we know, that part of the plane or that wing ripped off before it.
Yeah.
Exactly what I'm
saying. That could have caused it to hit, but there would have been more wreckage.
And that's the only part that I'm not 100% convinced on yet, is that there should be more wreckage. And I find it odd that there weren't things floating around. Like, I think there should be seat covers or something, right?
Well, I mean,
floating for sure.
Yeah, but going off what Caleb said, if it nosedived into the ocean, whether straight down or at an angle, it would have sheared a few things off, and everything else would have went to the bottom with it.
Yeah, it's kind of like if think about like the USS Arizona. There's stuff in there that would float, but it's surrounded by the shell, which
it's encapsulated.
Encapsulated. Yeah. So I think what probably happened is either part of the wing fell off or something. I think it got hijacked around here.
That was another.
The passengers decided to fight around here, which is why we see another big change in direction.
But why
right about here, they started going terminal and died.
Why would they have hijacked it? What is around this area where they're going?
So this is, remind me again, 2014?
I mean, look,
Malaysia flight.
I would say if they were actually, if there was lithium ion batteries like being stored on this flight being shipped somewhere, and there were a bunch of them, and if that is what caused the fires, that was at that time that. I mean, maybe there was just a group of people that wanted to get their hands on a bunch of shit that they could sell in the black market.
This is a map.
Where was Malaysia flight going?
Rollo, this is a bigger map of the area. Here are huge terrorist groups in 2013, 14, and 15.
No, I understand that. I'm saying where was it going?
Well, they were probably either trying to land. They were probably either trying to take it down here and land, or
in Indonesia.
Yeah,
or I don't know.
They did.
Rollo,
the flight's directed flight. Where was it supposed?
Oh, it was going from Malaysia to Shanghai.
Yeah. So Rollo, I wanna kind of make the point that it's like asking why the plane got hijacked. It's almost asking like why is the sky blue, right? I'm not. That's just my personal thing. It's like why is there evil in the world? It's kind of a hard.
Obviously, it could have been the same thing as why does somebody walk into a mall and just start shooting people out of nowhere? Like, but what I'm saying is, like, usually terrorist cells have a reason with an objective. So what is their objective?
So that's true for the Middle Eastern cells. A lot of the terrorism that comes out of the Philippines and the
whoa, careful.
There's a lot of terrorism in the Philippines.
Yeah, why do you think I'm here, bro?
The Filipino government actually pays people to kill terrorists.
Nice.
Normal people, not just the military. Nice. But
right as I say goodnight to Spud, really.
So yeah, I think they were probably trying to land the plane in Indonesia, do the same thing that the Somali pirates do around the Horn of Africa, and that's a different stream.
Yeah. That might be a rabbit hole stream.
But yeah, I think they made a mistake. The Malaysians tried to fight back, and everyone died.
Yeah, this is a happy story. This is a very happy story.
You cynical son of a bitch.
You could probably make a pretty cool like alien movie about
you can make a great movie about this.
You can't show it in China.
You can't show half our movies in China. You can't show any movies.
That's a good question.
I don't have a list. I know a vast majority were Chinese citizens, which is why there was such an uproar in I think it was going to Shanghai. There was a huge uproar in Shanghai when after this happened, because the Chinese military was the one that caught it on they were the ones that had it on radar from Pyongyang all the way to where it disappeared, and they didn't tell anyone.
Yeah, that's
for
fucked
like 4
up.
months.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, so there was a huge uproar in whatever city all these people were going to, because they're like, well, look, first off, they were all probably dead, but you could have at least helped them find the bodies.
The closure. I mean,
yeah,
they were gone. If they sunk to the bottom of the ocean, there's no point. Like the same thing. If it was pressurized the way that a plane, sorry, I don't know why the hell burping.
No, but it would have been broken up. It would have been depressurized.
Well, if it wasn't decompressed, there's still nothing left.
Well, the thing about it is we have the technology in this day and age to send unmanned subs down there to look for it, and they haven't.
Well, and that's what I was talking about, the depth. The longer you wait, the more expensive it's going to be because current's going to start pushing things around, right? And so they kind of lost their opportunity to get some real
Felicity.
evidence.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Or that one company that just sent a sub down. I'm sure they could Jimmy rig something together, right?
Yikes.
So weird. I
just grab my Xbox controller.
I'm sure they have a few parts lying around.
I mean, they ought to just give it to the credit card companies because they can find anybody.
Oh, for sure.
Well,
So,
quite frankly,
this is a topographic map of the ocean. And so it would have gone down right about here. So yeah, this is a very deep area of the ocean.
Well, I'm sorry, this looks CGI'd.
No. The dark purple is the deepest part. So
yeah, so that's very deep, but this is still very deep.
Because I have to do a lot of topographical work for my job. So that's right here. Like you see the light blue.
It's a topography.
A little bit lower, but not quite as high as the green and yellow.
Rollo, aren't fish tanks only like 1.5 feet deep?
Okay, I go to school for environmental science, and I'm trying to be a marine biologist. So I know what the fuck I'm talking about when it comes to this.
It's still not the military.
It's purple.
What?
I'm just fucking with you, dude. I said it's still not the military.
No, it's not.
I mean, biologist, you know.
But it is that right there is the deepest part in that specific.
Yeah, I know. This is the deepest part right here. But it crashed right about or disappeared right about here.
Still pretty damn deep, right
about there. It's findable. Like you can find that.
Mm-hmm.
Can you?
Yes. If it
zoom in a little bit more here, guys. Okay, Rollo. It disappeared right about here.
Okay,
just after this chain of islands right here. So this current goes down.
That's not a chain of islands.
This is the Australian current, which does this.
Yeah, the EAC, dude. Sorry.
So that thing's gone. That thing has disappeared.
No, I mean,
if you know where the current flows, you know about where to start
it's
looking.
Kind of like how they track treasure ships and
we've had sonar for how many decades now,
bro? Yeah. Right there's a shelf. If it had hit that shelf when it hit the water, it's going down.
I've got one too.
Fucking really.
I got a bunch of them.
So
the thing about it is, Rollo, it's not like so deep as the Laurentian Abyssal or Marianas
it's not the Abyssal Plain. It's not the Marianas. Like it's if it were to hit something like that, we'd still be able to find it at that deep level.
Yeah.
Like if it were to, let's say, here's the edge, right, and it comes in like this, boop, the nose hits it. It's gonna go this way, and it's gonna fall down. But we'd still be able to find it through pinging, through sonar, through multiple different ways of us to scan that area. You would get pings off of the metal.
I'm sorry.
Remember to hold your pinging out when you drink because it's good manners.
Now, do we know how pings ping off of aluminum versus steel or iron?
We do.
It's just density changes is all it scans.
Yeah, LiDAR especially nowadays is being proven to be.
You're a LiDAR.
You're a LiDAR.
You're a LiDAR.
No, but this goes to what I was talking before. Like they kind of missed their mark, right? I mean, it's 9 years. Who knows what the currents are pushing sand over like rocks constantly under the water.
It's gone.
So that stuff's gone. Like there's no way we're finding any type of.
No, you're never.
They should have gone out there, sent out subs within the 4 months that China was holding back all the information. Right?
You also have to remember that their subs were not equipped for that depth at the time.
Yeah, probably.
The only subs at that time that were equipped for that were military subs or like the best of the best. And those best of the best, there was like 6 of them on the planet.
Biologists didn't have subs?
No, biology subs are the best of the best ones. Those are the ones, the yellow ones you get in like GTA.
I promise you,
like
the Typhoon class submarine that the United States military has is better.
I just said other than military, Caleb.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you say other than military.
What were you gonna say, Daryl?
Where was Fauci in 2014?
I was going to say where this happened is almost in the technological seat of this planet. They have the technology.
Oh yeah,
they lead the technology between Japan and Taiwan, or Japan and China. Sorry, China.
China.
I mean, and and you got Taiwan, but sorry, wrong country. Anyway, I forget I'm not on my channel. I do that all the time. I'm on.
What? Anything goes on my channel.
Well, I actually said it too. So I have an alt account called
jacket on. All I need is the pin.
C.Kyle.
C.Kyle. Okay, I'll keep.
Yeah, just don't say the dot.
Yeah.
And it has a picture of dolphin in it. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's so precious.
It's fucked up.
I call him my little Dolph.
The opinions discussed here today do not accurately depict the true thoughts and beliefs of the Gatekeeper's Daimyo or the invited guests. The statements spoken do not constitute any jurisdictional relationship between the viewer and the Daimyo. All opinions are spoken under the protection of the First Amendment and protected by constitutional law and Supreme Court precedents. By viewing said content, you agree to hold the Daimyo and all guests innocent of any lawsuits and indemnify them from any suits or damages that may arise from any content. You also agree to acknowledge that any lawsuit you do bring shall be under the rules and laws of the Republic of Djibouti. Primary jurisdiction shall fall under the Commonwealth of Botswana. All rights reserved.
Daimyo.
I gotta fix it because now. So when I originally sent it to you, the words matched up with the type, but now the type is going faster than the words. So I gotta play around with it.
It's still fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
that's a great.
Oh, that's what makes it great.
Yeah.
It's like you're reading along, and then the words are coming. It's like an echo.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, so I think this is I think that wraps it up for us for tonight. I don't, unless you guys have something you want to bring up before I close it out.
I think I'm good.
Sorry guys.
She had cat for lunch.
Oh yeah, you said you had to leave a chemtrail earlier.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry guys, I couldn't hold it. Well, anyway, thank you, chat, for sticking around during the chaos of this stream. I think this was a fun conversation. King's Advisors, thank you for saving me there at the beginning. Rolo, thank you for joining us as well. And Daryl, thank you. And thank you, everyone, for
X-Wing, thank you as well.
Yeah, X-Wing, thank you as well. And Sundowners for popping and say hi. We don't talk about the amount of White Claws I drink, actually.
Oh, you had too much of White Claw.
White Claw. And we'll end it there. Good night, everyone.